Only 15% of adults have a stocks and shares ISA in the UK in 2025. That's a shockingly low number when you consider how beneficial these accounts can be. So why is the number that low? Well, one explanation is that people simply don't know what they are or how they work, and that is potentially you watching this video right now. So in this video, I'll be breaking down exactly what a stocks and shares ISA is, what the rules are when using one, what you can use one for, and I'll give you an exact step-by-step walkthrough showing you how to set one up, all the buttons to click, and more. A lot of people think it's all going to be really complicated, but trust me, it's so easy that even my grandma could do it. Please remember that nothing I say in this video is financial advice, I am not a financial advisor, and ISA rules are subject to change. In order to be able to open a stocks and shares ISA, you need to meet two criteria. You must be over the age of 18 and you must be a UK resident. If you check those two boxes, there is nothing stopping you from opening your own stocks and shares ISA. For those under the age of 18, there is also a junior stocks and shares ISA where adults put money in on behalf of children. But today we're going to focus on regular stocks and shares ISAs. So why would you use a stocks and shares ISA? The reason this account is so valuable is due to the tax benefits you get when using it. When investing or saving inside a stocks and shares ISA, you will not pay any capital gains tax on the returns you make, meaning you won't need to declare any of your profits to HMRC, and you also won't pay any UK dividends tax either. This can add up to extraordinary amounts of money when investing for a long period of time. Our financial interest compound interest calculator shows you that if you invest just £200 per month for 20 years and achieve an average return of 7% per year, you would make around £54,000 in profit. Based on this figure, you would currently owe around £12,000 in capital gains tax alone if you weren't investing inside of an ISA, and that's a huge difference compared to £0. Another benefit is because this is an investing account, there's always the possibility that you could achieve higher returns than if you were to just put your money into a fixed rate savings account. Although returns are never guaranteed and your capital is always at risk when investing. The average long-term return of the US stock market is over 9%, with interest rates in savings accounts barely reaching half of this figure. Again, the financial interest compound interest calculator shows just how different long-term returns can be if you were to get a return of, say, 9% compared to 4.5%. And when you put your money inside of a stocks and shares ISA, it's free to access at any time. So you're not locked into any fixed term periods before you can withdraw your money again. You just have to sell your investments you've made to withdraw the cash. Now you know why you would use a stocks and shares ISA, to invest your money while avoiding taxes perfectly legally. It's even encouraged by the UK government, and to try and achieve a larger long-term return than savings accounts will ever be able to offer. Everything probably sounds pretty great so far, but let's go through the rules you'll need to follow, as it's very important that you know these things before you start putting your money away. In the 2025 to 2026 tax year, the maximum amount of money that you can put into a stocks and shares ISA is £20,000. So from the 6th of April this year to the 5th of April next year, that is the total limit you have when depositing. If you go over that limit, then any returns you make on the excess will not benefit from tax relief, and HMRC may ask you to withdraw the excess amount from your ISA. Most investment platforms will let you track your deposits though, showing you how much you've used up, so this shouldn't be too much of a concern unless you're spreading your money across lots of different ISAs. Alternatively, if you don't use your entire ISA allowance for the year, it will reset back to £20,000 for the new tax year, and you will lose the previous unused allowance. It's a huge use it or lose it tax benefit. One rule that actually changed last year was the amount of ISAs that you were able to have. Before, you could only contribute to one of each type of ISA in a tax year, so one stocks and shares ISA, one cash ISA, one lifetime ISA, and so on. But now, you're able to contribute to as many stocks and shares ISAs as you want, as long as you stay within the overall ISA limits. The £20,000 annual ISA limit, which is subject to change, is a total limit for all of the ISAs that you have. So for an easy example, let's say you have one stocks and shares ISA and one cash ISA, you could put £10,000 into each of them and your limit would be used up. Also, just to clarify, this is an annual deposit limit. If you maxed out your ISA limit for the year, but then generate returns on your investments that push the balance in your account to be a higher amount, this would not count as you exceeding the limit. It only goes off of the money that you've put into it. If you deposit into a stocks and shares ISA and then withdraw, you will not get the ISA limit back unless you're using what's called a flexible ISA. And you can use our free financial interest stocks and shares ISA comparison tool to easily filter for these. Finally, you can transfer your ISA cash or investments to another ISA provider as long as the brokers you're using support transfers. Again, this is something you can filter on our stocks and shares ISA comparison tool. So those are the rules attached to stocks and shares ISAs in 2025. But if you were to open one of these accounts, what could you expect to be using it for? A stocks and shares ISA is an investing account primarily, but you do have the option to hold your cash in there as well without investing it. And some platforms actually offer some interest on this uninvested cash if you want to hold it in there whilst you decide what you want to do with it. But when it comes to investing inside a stocks and shares ISA, you have a wide range of assets to invest into. You could invest into the stocks of specific companies in the UK or US and plenty of other countries. You could invest into index funds that allow you to buy entire markets at once rather than trying to gamble on a small number of stocks. You can invest into government bonds to get exposure to gold and silver prices with exchange traded commodities and more. Some investment platforms will offer you the ability to invest into all of these different types of assets, whereas some will only focus on funds or trading stocks. So you'll just need to decide what you're looking to invest into and find a platform that fits the bill. Things like cryptocurrencies and CFDs are not allowed to be bought inside of an ISA, so if that's your game, then you will need to stick to general investing accounts or casinos. Finally, to show you just how easy the actual process of using a stocks and shares ISA is, I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough. It's really just like using accounts that you've likely used before, so like online banking, online shopping, sports betting. There are a range of things that are very similar in terms of how easy the modern stocks and shares ISAs are to use. To do this, today we'll be using an investing platform called Trading 212. We recently awarded them the best stocks and shares ISA in our annual awards, so they seem like the obvious choice. You can also get started with just £1, but obviously your capital is at risk when investing. I'm going to show you how you could easily invest into thousands of companies all around the world in just a few clicks, should you wish to. This is done using something called index funds, and we actually have a free course about index funds called Index Funds for Beginners. It's hosted by Damien Talks Money, so I'll link that in the description if you want a full, simplified, and entertaining explanation of exactly how index funds work. Anyway, here's how to invest into index funds using a stocks and shares ISA. Firstly, sign up using our link in the description and you'll get free fractional shares worth up to £100 if you open and fund an investing account with at least £1. Terms apply, and this is an affiliate link, so we may receive commission from this at no extra cost to yourself. Once you've supplied all of the necessary information to them when signing up, you'll be asked what type of account you want to open. And for this tutorial, we'll be opening a stocks and shares ISA, just called a stocks ISA on Trading 212 at the time of recording. Here you'll have the option of choosing a ready-made portfolio or investing manually, but I'm going to show you how to manually set up your own portfolio where you choose your own investments. From your dashboard, click on the pie-shaped icon here and scroll down to Quick Start with a Pie. Then after clicking here, you can go over to the Custom Pie tab to create your own. For this tutorial, I'll be adding in 3 different ETFs to create a diversified portfolio, but just to be clear, none of these are recommendations. We're not financial advisors, and I'm only using them as examples for this video to show you how it's done. To find the assets that you want to invest in, you can either type the name of the asset into the search bar at the top, or you can browse the relevant filters below to narrow things down. Once you've added all of your assets into your pie, you can then decide the weightings of each of them so your investment is divided between them in a way that suits you best. Then you have the choice of auto-invest or manually invest. And this will determine whether you need to manually deposit and invest money when you want to, or if you'd like to set up a recurring deposit that will automatically be invested for you. If you choose to auto-invest, you can choose how much you'd like to invest and how frequently it will be invested on the next page, and input an initial deposit to fund the pie. And finally, select free funds on this page so the pie will automatically take money from your uninvested cash to invest. Then you'll need to set up a standing order with your bank that lands in your account a few days before the investing date so that the money is always there ready to be auto-invested. And that's it. You're now investing inside a stocks and shares ISA. You now know how you can create a portfolio, add your assets, fund your account, and make your first investments. We use Trading 212 to show you how this all works, but there are many other options out there for you to choose from. So if you're wondering where to open your first stocks and shares ISA, you need to watch the video on screen now.